Uh, I like to share something about the Lamb's Book of Life. I just read right now. I thought Judas was only mentioned in the Book of Life. But I just read right now. The prophet also mentioned Judas' name was written in the Lamb's Book of Life. So it would modify my presentation, but it will still remain the same. The Lamb's Book of Life, in my initial presentation, is eternal. It is timeless. It is not subject to time. So, Revelation 13:8, whose names were not written in the Lamb's Book of Life, slain from the foundation of the world. Before anything else was created, the Lamb's Book of Life was already finished. Everyone was already predestinated. Now, this is the timeline of the world, of all creation, from the beginning to the end, to the eternal age. Now, within this time, you can also use the word Book of Life. And this is where Revelation 3:5 comes in. We're all aware of Revelation 3:5. Was it read a while ago? You can open it up again. Revelation 3:5. To him that overcometh, I will not blot out his name from the Book of Life. This is what I call a temporal time. This temporal Book of Life, it shows God's love and mercy that He wants everyone to be saved, as He said in Peter. But of course, not everyone would accept Him or believe Him. So there would be a chosen few that would really be predestinated to glory. Of course, sad to say, others predestinated to damnation. So, in this temporal Book of Life, the names could be blotted out. Not just the whole Book of Life, but the names in the Book of Life. So, what would be modified in my presentation right now is, this Book of Life is just part of the Lamb's Book of Life. If Judas' name was written there, then his name was also blotted out as it was written here. So herein comes another subject that talks about predestination, eternal security. Calvinism and Arminianism. Branham said you should merge the two. He said in Ephesians chapter 1, these two were merged. Calvinism and Arminianism. Arminianism talks about real time. As long as you stay faithful, you are saved. And this is also the battle between Baptist, Presbyterian versus Methodist and Pentecostals. Is your salvation permanent? But there are two perspectives, also predestination. Arminianism, you were predestined because God had foreknown. God had seen what you would do. It's the same thing that explained by the prophet. God saw what you would do, then He predestinated you for that. Now, the Lamb's Book of Life talks about these things. There's an aspect of the Book of Life that we could see, which God reveals to us temporarily because we are in real time. But once we get into eternity, then we could see the whole picture. But while we cannot see the whole picture yet, we see partially this view, looking into a glass darkly, but then we will see Him face to face. So, the same thing here. The Lamb's Book of Life, in the mind of God, that's eternal. In the Word. Before anything else was created, this Word was still yet unexpressed, the Logos. But when this Word started to be expressed, then God comes into time. When He enters into time, then this is the part when the Bible said that the secret things belong to the Lord, but those things revealed to us are for us. The things that will be revealed unto us will be gradually revealed. As the revelation gradually revealed, then we will know who we are. Now there's a statement, whose names were written in the Lamb's book, in the book of life, in heaven. If your name was written in heaven, everyone was predestinated from the start. But if there are names, of course, we believe that it's not literally blotted out. It's just a symbolical language where it means you lost your chance. So if Judas was written, he had his chance, but he lost his chance. Even though God saw everything from the beginning, he still went into time and gave him that chance. It doesn't mean God will change his foreknowledge, but it shows his love and mercy for us, even though that will still take place. So, with regards to the book of life, what would be modified in my presentation now? There is this represents also the mind of God. But within the mind of God, right now, what is happening right now is taking place. You can imagine, right now, in real time, we are in the mind of God. Everything is finished. He's beyond space and time. But right now, what is taking place right now is already in His mind. We don't know what will happen in the future, but we can have a glimpse of that future. And having a glimpse of that future will give us that, what Christ said, this edification, this kingship with Him, while we are here on earth, this token, this seal, wherein we were part with Him while we were encountering all our hardships and trials here on earth. So that's the drive of the Lamb's Book of Life. In Revelation 13:8 talks about the Antichrist, struggle. Of course, there are trials in the world. So in the Book of Life, in Revelation 3:5, it shows Arminianism. It shows you could lose your salvation. And of course, in the church world, there are two camps still divided over these things. But here in the message, these two differing thoughts should be married already, should be merged already. Now, how are we going to merge these two? How are we going to reconcile you're eternally saved, you're predestined, you're eternally secure, and another, you can still lose your salvation? The answer is this. In real time, while you don't know everything at the end, that is true. But beyond time, you're already secure. How far back, how far deep in that revelation, the deep calls to the deep, would you know that you are part from that eternity? Many people among the Baptists, they're so sure about their salvation. They're so sure about their salvation, they're so Nicolaitan, they're so closed-minded. There are many people in the world today, even in different groups, they're so sure about their salvation that they're closed-minded. So how are you going to be sure? You need the Word. You need that foundation. And how are you going to receive that progressive revelation? You should not be Nicolaitan. Because the deeper growth you get in fellowship with the Lord, in revelation, in His Word, the deeper you will feel this eternal security. You will feel first this temporal security, as was what was mentioned there. But as your spirit raptures, or what John experienced, window open up in heaven, and you see all these things, then you find yourself, you're part of that Lamb's Book of Life. The right way of feeling secure is not by blind loyalty to any group. It's because you're open for scrutiny through the Scriptures. You're founded on the Word, Jesus Christ Himself. And nothing can sway you. Not because you're closed-minded, not because you're avoiding to look at other people's opinions. You're not afraid because you're always willing to be corrected as the prophet taught. That is your eternal security while we are here on earth until our death. So, by the time, as you travel, example, this is your travel as a believer. If you're running a race And you're almost near the end. That's still in the future. The finish line is there. You have not reached the finish line. But since you are so sure in that rush, you're going to finish it even if you're at the end of the pack. You're so sure you're going to finish it no matter what, even if you stumble down. You're still going to get up. I'm talking about the literal race here in the Olympics. So if you're so sure you're going to reach the end, the same thing here right now. We do not know everything yet. We do not see everything yet. But if you're so sure you will continue up to the end, as Christ had said, then you will reach that end. You do not know everything yet, but the part that has been revealed to you as you grow in grace in the knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ, then that knowledge will give you that assurance. That assurance grows stronger every day. So this refutes the attitude of others. They claim, you've accepted Christ, you're secure. Oh, they have a make-believe imagination, I'm secure. They're Nicolaitan. They do not want to grow in the grace and knowledge anymore. But out of loyalty for their denomination or group. So this is my exhortation with regards how the lamps of life will impact us. How it also correlates with the Bible and the Logos and the Word of God. God bless you.